Do you have savings and investments? Do you know how they will be treated if you divorce? Hi, I'm Simon Dippenaar and I'm a family attorney. According to Stats SA, less than 1% of South African households have any savings. This was one of the motivating factors behind the government's introduction of the two-pot pension system. The savings component allows access to funds for emergencies while sheltering the retirement component not only from tax but from being depleted, which is what used to happen frequently when people change jobs. I talked about divorce and the two-pot pension system in a recent video if you want more information. But what about other types of savings, both long and short term? I'm talking about a savings account you might hold at your bank, which could give you instant access to your money or pay you a bit more interest if you tie up your savings for longer. I'm also talking about stocks and shares and share-based investments, such as unit trusts. If you have investments, the division of assets in the event of divorce can get complicated. As always, the starting point is the matrimonial regime. If your marriage is out of community or property, without accrual, each party retains their own investments. You can turn off this video now. But if the marriage is out of community or property with accrual, any gains made since the date of the marriage, even if investments are separately held, are subject to an accrual calculation. Most marriages in South Africa are in community or property, so I'll focus on this matrimonial regime where the joint marital estate is equally divided on divorce. Of course, negotiations in the divorce proceedings may result in a different outcome as trade-offs are often made. As with all assets, the first step is obtaining an accurate valuation. This is not as easy as it sounds. Investments fluctuate in value with more frequency than immovable property or tangible assets such as artworks. Now, while a bank savings account can only go up in value because capital is guaranteed, its value changes monthly if interest is added to capital monthly. You could also have it paid out to your account, your current account, in which case the savings value would not change. The value of stocks and shares or a unit trust can go up or down. The degree of variance will depend on the volatility of the investment, which is linked to its risk profile. Therefore, to avoid dispute, it may help to agree a valuation date for all investments and use that value in discussions. This could be the date that you filed for divorce or a date you both agree on. Valuation for a savings account or a unit trust is easy to access. The financial institutions normally provide you with monthly or quarterly statements. If you are in any doubt, contact your provider for an up-to-date valuation. You can find daily share prices online, multiply the share price by the number of shares you hold, or contact your broker. You can supply a valuation for your portfolio. Be aware that the actual value could vary from the perceived value because there may be taxes and fees that are only applied annually or on the sale of the shares. Investments carry varying risk profiles, and you and your spouse may have very different levels of risk tolerance. If you are more conservative, you may prefer to let your spouse keep the riskier investments. The options available for investment division and their tax implications will depend on the type of investment held. Income tax is payable on interest earned from savings, but interest earnings are exempt from tax if the amount per annum is 23,800 Rand or less than 34,500 Rand, or less if you are 65 or older. If the account is held in joint names, it will need to be cashed in and divided or transferred to one of you depending on the divorce agreement. Your account may have a notice period or only permit one withdrawal a year. If you've already used that withdrawal, it may be possible to make another or to override the notice period in exchange for forfeiting some interest. Your bank will advise you. Tax-free savings accounts are not subject to any taxation, but can only be held by individuals. If you both have tax-free savings accounts, the separate valuations must be included in the total asset calculation and adjustments may need to be made. Transfers cannot be made between tax-free savings accounts, so one of you could or would have to withdraw cash and pay it to the other. Shares or unit trusts can be transferred to another beneficial owner or sold. Under South African law, transfer of property between spouses in a divorce settlement is generally exempt from capital gains tax or CGT. However, CGT may apply on the sale of the shares. If you have substantial investment assets, I strongly advise you to consult a tax specialist. I've tried to give an overview of investment division in divorce, but this is not legal advice. Each situation is unique and requires careful financial, legal, and tax planning. Consulting with a family lawyer such as SD Law and a tax advisor can help ensure a fair and tax-efficient outcome. I have extensive experience in high net worth divorce and asset division. If you are considering divorce and want to discuss your options, contact me on the number below for a confidential chat.